at the Jefferson College Fieldhouse on 1400 KJFF. This is the Jefferson College Sports Report, as JoEllen Stringer, the volleyball coach and athletic director, is with us today following the team's performance in the Jefferson College Invitational Volleyball Tournament over the weekend, in which you won 3 out of 4 matches, Coach. I'm sure you got to be very happy with that.
Yes, I was happy with the wins, of course, but I was most happy with the way they finally ended up playing. We've had some boo-boos, and in the past, it seems like whenever JoEllen went down or Thais went down, we just didn't play as well. But they really pulled together, because we're still without JoEllen, and Marcella ended up going down, so we had no middles. And then Kristen even went out of the game for a while. So at one time we were without 3 starters, and I was really pleased because they did pull together, and we saw some really good performances by the kids, and it really helped.
And anytime you see a situation like that arise where some other kids have to step up and they get the job done, I mean, it makes you feel good.
Absolutely, and that's what we've been preaching to them all year long, about how you never know when that opportunity is going to knock, and it's your choice how you know, whether you make the best of it or not. And we always tell the team, it's you know, all kinds of things happen in the season, and they're the only ones that have the power to make the best of the situation, and they got it. It was nice to see.
And you won a lot of these games in pretty convincing fashion too. Illinois Central, I know, was a pretty good opponent. You got by them 3-1. Got by Gadsden State 3-1. You swept Eastern Arizona, and Barton got you, but they got everybody in this thing. I mean, they're obviously very good.
Barton was playing really well, and they're pretty healthy right now. I think it would have been a different story if we'd had our middles, especially JoEllen, but we didn't. So, but like I said, I think that we struggled a little bit at in the Barton match, but I think after that they pulled together, and that's whenever I noticed it's like, you know how as a team they take a step forward, and that was a really big step forward they took whenever they finished the last 2 matches just really, really strong.
And JoEllen again was out nursing the ankle. I saw that you know, you don't have her doing very much today as far as practice goes. Is
she's
she
still not in.
along?
Yeah, she's progressing, but I doubt that she'll be in the game tomorrow night. We thought she might be at the beginning, but she's progressing slower than we thought she would. And Marcella's still iffy as well, so we could be without our 2 starting middles again tomorrow night. So.
Well, if it has to come, this is probably a good time for it to happen, because you're not in a tournament again until the weekend of the 17th.
Right. We do have some time to recover, which is kind of what we don't want to do, is push those kids. So if we can play without them, we're going to try. It'll
be Mineral Area tomorrow night, and then a week from tomorrow will be East Central. So, right. And then after that is the Illinois Central tournament on the 19th and 20th. So.
Right.
It's a good time to try to get some of these kids rested and healthy.
Absolutely. You go pretty hard during the season, and those tournaments take a lot out of them, and like I said, they just need some recovery time.
What has been the most impressive thing that you've seen from the team over the weekend? You mentioned how you were happy the way they all came along. Everybody kind of slid into a role,
right,
in a tough situation with a couple of kids missing. But was there any part of the game that you could really put your finger on?
Well, I guess individually, like Kristen went in on the right side, and she did really well passing, and she hasn't been in the game for a while because she's been out with injuries, and that was her first really, place back in the lineup, and she did really well. And it's ironic, we had to move Brooke into the middle when Marcella went down, so we got into a rotation, and Kristen went to the front row, and she just nailed the ball, and it was just so fun to see. And I think not only was it good for her and good for the team, and we got the point, but I think it showed them that, they can do that. And like I said, then it just seemed like from that point on, the team just really stepped it up another level. And like I said, it shows them the power of team, and that's what we've been trying to preach to them all year long.
Becky Mann was just as steady as anybody. I think she led your team in kills, I think, every game you played.
And I think that was a big difference. For the past couple weeks, Becky and Thais have both struggled a little bit, and that happens all the time. You get in a season and your timing gets a little off, and they just haven't been playing very well. They went from, I think Becky had a 49 attack percentage to like a 3 within a week, and that's a big That's big. And she just kept getting more frustrated. Well, she's kind of worked all that out, and so she's back to contributing again, and that's huge. We couldn't have done it unless those two had been out of their slump, and that was good to see. The timing of that was really good.
And I guess it's going to be you're going to rely a lot, I guess, tomorrow night with Becky and Thais again to be the go-to person to try to get the kills and get to the points.
Well, yeah, but I think one of the things that's helping us is we're moving the ball around a little bit more. Our passing, our service reception is getting better, so we're able to have more choices, and we don't have to send the ball outside. Because sometimes if you do that all the time, the blockers just camp out on them, and then they're not as successful. So we're actually developing our right side attack and being able to use our players more and gain confidence in those kids.
You know, looking at the numbers, you got a lot of kids that have played a lot already this year. A lot of the freshmen have played a considerable amount of time.
Yeah.
Casey Ryder, Jennifer Elbert. You've been putting Lacey McCullough in there a little more often lately. So a lot of these freshmen are really getting some good playing time.
Absolutely, and that's going to be nice for Ida next year and the team next year, because there's going to be a lot of returners with a lot of court time, rather than like we have had 2 this year, and that made it a lot tougher. Actually, 1.5 of people that were back onto the starting lineup, and that's big, especially at the beginning of the season. So I think they're like I said, they're starting to come along. They're starting to work together as a team. Things are starting to click. So now's a good time to do that.
You got 4 or 5 kids actually that already have over 130 kills, and I guess you got to like that diversity.
Yes, and I'm waiting for Yachin to kick in. Last year she was much higher in the stats, and some of it is a difference between a sophomore setter and a freshman setter. She was used to Andrea. Andrea could feel her. It's taken her a little longer for Jenny and Yachin to find each other. And with the middles, it's extremely important. So she was just getting her timing down whenever she got hurt. So we'll probably have to step back a little bit on that a little bit. But I really think that, once she steps it up another level, then we'll be cooking.
You know, a lot of this game, everybody talks about momentum in certain sports, but momentum is just as big in volleyball as it is at any sport.
Oh, absolutely. And so many things. There's so much dead time in volleyball. Like basketball, you go up and down the court, and if somebody makes a mistake, they can run down the other court and forget about it. Well, in volleyball, everybody stands there and watches you, and I think that puts a lot more pressure. It's much like having the free throw shot all the time, because you're kind of doing things out there, a lot of the individual stuff. But at the same time, if the flow's not there, none of the individual stuff works. So it's an interesting game.
And when you look at it, when you're in the middle of a rally in volleyball, it's not unusual for every player on each side to touch the ball. Where you can't always say that in basketball. You could go through several points could be scored, and a couple kids may not even touch the ball whatsoever.
Right. Yeah, it's like I said, it's very much a team sport. And if one person doesn't do their job or doesn't cover right or something, then it doesn't always look like that person's fault, but sometimes it is. So it's like I said, it's definitely a team sport.
What do you expect from Mineral Area tomorrow night? You played them once already this year.
They're always steady. They always give us a good game, especially on their home court. They seem to be a little more up. We usually get a better game from them on their home court. I don't know about their injuries. I haven't kept up with them lately, so I don't know if they have any boo-boos like we do. But we always respect their talent and always respect their program, and we always expect a good game from them.
And they're always excited to play you. That's
absolutely.
Another thing. You're I mean, not to say that your team's not excited to play them. They always are, but it seems like it's a little bit more for them sometimes, because basically they know it's an uphill battle.
Well,
the
it's
tradition that's here
yeah.
and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then you got East Central right after that, which has a team for the first time in several years.
Yes, and a good team. They're that area is a very strong volleyball community, and their coach is an experienced coach. So he was able to start it early, recruited well. So I expect to have a good match with them. I'm looking forward to playing them again. It's really nice to see them have a program again.
They're, of course, out of Franklin County, which is where East Central is in Union. Mm-hmm. And just like, you got a young lady from Washington. You've had some kids from Washington in the past.
Yes.
So, with Washington and Borgia right there, there's always going to be a pretty good talent pool.
And Herman, yeah. There's
Herman
a
too,
pretty
yeah.
good, yes. And several years ago, they were the second team. They were the second team in the region. They were always right there behind us. And so I expect that area to grow, and I think their program will grow.
What are some of the things that you're really concentrating on in practices, like today, for instance? What has been the big focus for you?
Well, transition. we're at a stage now where we can start picking out smaller things. We've worked on passing earlier. We always work on service reception. That is so important. But we're kind of trying to get them to scrap a little bit, where they can make an attack out of mush. As long as somebody can get the ball out, they can attack the ball. And that's what we're working on.
Something else I wanted to ask you, and you probably would want a little preparation to answer a question like this, but I was just curious if you could come up with kind of one of your favorite all-star teams. I mean, just a group of kids that you've coached over the years that, brought everything to the mix, not only talent, but people that were good kids, people that just worked hard, that kind of thing.
Well, the one that's over there coaching would be probably the first one I would put on the court, but and I always go back, Rita Fisher was one of the hardest working players I've ever had. She was 5'7", dynamite, and she loved to play defense. And what I liked about Rita was she's from St. Genevieve, and she made everybody that played with her play better. And so certainly she would be on that list. Boy, it's really hard. There's so many good players out there. Of course, Pavlina Stefkova we've had a ton of very good setters. And so that would be hard to pick. Even local kids like Karen Meyer and Cassins, and those guys were great too. So, it'd be hard, but we've been very fortunate that we've had a lot of really good kids. The ones that seem to stick in my mind the most sometimes are the ones that just dogged it. I mean, they didn't always have all the things they needed, but they found a way to score and to perform at their best. And that would be an interesting team.
Just going back, I think I've covered your volleyball program for about 9-10 years now, and I can go back to just saying, remembering just a couple of pretty good ones. Obviously, Yat Chen is probably right up there.
Right.
It's always easy to go over the teams that you've recently had.
Right. And if I could look at the wall, it's just like I just thought of Tisha Delaney. She went to Nebraska and played for Nebraska, and she was awesome. And it's just like every time, like I thought of Tara. Tara is one of the best passers. She just stayed with that ball. Again, a steady person. So, like I said, we've been a lot of good kids.
Jamie Regal was one that came to mind.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yes. Betty Bray from Herman, that area. She held the record for blocks for a long time. So, yeah, like I said, we've been fortunate. We've had a lot of very talented kids and kids that have made all-tournament team and All-American, and it's a lot.
It is a lot, and I know that there are probably kids that
over 200 kids. So.
Yeah, that's a lot of kids to try to remember, to try to come up with any kind of your all-star team.
Right,
or whatever the
absolutely.
Case may be. It would probably take you a long time with a lot of thinking to come up with the right group.
I agree.
The Tarnaskady girls, who are both very good.
Oh yeah, Roberta and G. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, like I said, we've been blessed with a lot of setters. Roberta was one of the best setters we had. Like I said, we have been really, really lucky in that department. A lot of All-American setters.
And again, like you mentioned, a lot of the local kids that have come out here and played too.
Yes.
I know you've always enjoyed that. And you got a couple on your team right now that are all doing a very good job. Yeah,
yes, and that's always fun too. There have been some years when the talent has been pretty good, but not strong enough to come in and make a big difference. But this year we've got some kids that are really making a difference out there, and it's particularly Becky. She can hang with the top in the nation, and so that's exciting for me.
And what about your coaches? I mean, you've had a lot of assistant coaches over the years too that I'm sure you still have a lot of great contact with and a lot of good conversations with.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's interesting. I got to thinking the other day about my coaches, and I really haven't had a lot. Like at the first, we didn't have any budget for assistant coaches, so I had none. So for a lot of years, it was. I was just talking about that the other day. I don't know how I did it all by myself. Good managers. But like a lot of then for a while, it was people that just like Travis and Dusty and Tim all just came out of my volleyball classes, or Travis had a little bit of experience, but the rest of them didn't. Some of them I just taught to play volleyball, and then they assisted me. But this group, they are very knowledgeable, and this is, like I said, this is absolutely the most outstanding group of coaches I've had, because they're people that they've come from other programs, and instead of me training them, they've actually brought information from other programs, and that's so exciting for me to have them bring in drills and ideas and different techniques and a different way of thinking, different approaches to things, and that's really helped me grow as a coach too.
Well, Coach, we appreciate your time as always, and we'll talk more about obviously your time at Jefferson College with the volleyball program as we continue on in the next couple of weeks. And good luck tomorrow night as you take on Mineral Area.
Thank you.
That's JoEllen Stringer. She is the volleyball coach and athletic director here at Jefferson College. And we'll step aside. We have more ahead after this on 1400 KJFF.
You may not know their names, but the students who are helped through a Jefferson College Foundation scholarship carry thanks in their hearts. It's for the kindness that our contributors have shown. Make a difference in their tomorrows.
Education, the great equalizer. It doesn't just mean you get more knowledge, it means you improve your quality of life.
Give to the Jefferson College Foundation today.
Great education.
Friendly atmosphere.
Beautiful campus.
The convenience and the affordability.
My experience at Jefferson College has been wonderful.
I find the quality of education here at Jefferson College to be one of a kind.
My experience at Jefferson College has been a major plus in my life and one of the best decisions I've made.
Jefferson College would be the place that I would recommend the most.
I'm Katie Williams.
I'm Kevin Higginbotham.
I'm Ann Martinson.
I'm Tony Markovich, and I'm proud I chose to attend Jefferson College.
JFF, this is the Jefferson College Sports Report. In a few moments, we're going to be joined by Sam Carel, the head baseball coach here at Jefferson College, and just wanted to remind everybody and really pass along some information on what transpired over the weekend for the men's basketball team, or the men's soccer team, excuse me. Soccer team went down to Texas to compete in the Richland Showcase, won 2 out of 3 games played down there, including a win over the #1 ranked team in the country, San Jacinto. They ended up dropping a game to Tyler, Texas after that. Both scores were 3-0, by the way, one a win, one a loss. And finished out with a 4-2 win over Richland, who is one of the top teams in Division III. And they are going to be in action tomorrow as they will be taking on Lincoln Land. It'll be a non-conference, non-region game right out here at Jefferson College for the men's soccer team. But we're going to switch our attention to the baseball coach here at Jeffco. Sam Carel's with us now. How are you?
Good, Ryan. How about you?
Good to see you again.
You too, man. It's been a long time.
You guys are hard at work, of course, finishing up your fall schedule. A couple things still going on. Your World Series has started. How's that going so far?
Well, the blue team, led by Coach Underwood and Skiles, is down 2-0, but right now they're winning Game 3, 4-1 as we speak. So hopefully they can scratch out a win against Coach Kurtz and his vaunted red lineup.
And I guess he's got what? This is Game 3 and 4 today, or is it just
Game
one game
3 today, Game 4 is tomorrow.
Tomorrow, okay. Then you guys will get right back at it again, I guess, later on. You got Three Rivers and Maple Woods coming up this weekend. So, and that almost finishes it out. You come back for a marathon game, and then that's about it as far as getting on the field type stuff.
Yeah, and if there's a Game 5 in our series, then we'll play it next Tuesday. So, but if there's not, then marathon game is the last one.
Good to still be playing a lot of games outside in October, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, you're right. I hope we can say that in February and March.
That's always a different story.
You're right.
This team so far this year, obviously you've probably been doing a lot of instruction with the freshmen, and probably one of those things where it's like you kind of look at it like a spring training type situation. A get to know you situation, almost like that.
Yeah, it is that, and you get to know the guys, but we're also trying to get our sophomores showcased and see if we can get a lot of the upperclassmen signed somewhere. And I mean that's the goal. We'll do more of the spring training mentality and training camp stuff more in January and February. This fall it's a little more laid back in the fall, but you're right, we do a lot of teaching in the fall, definitely.
A lot of like game type situations. You use the games that you play obviously to look at a lot of different things, not only pitching, but if you have to switch your lineup around, if you have to play guys at different positions, things like that. Yeah,
that's a good point. And we're looking at a lot of different things. You're exactly right. And, we're also trying to really work on their individual skills. And we're kind of doing more of a camp atmosphere where we're doing a lot of individual work the first couple hours of practice, and then at the end we'll do a modified scrimmage or batting practice or something of that nature.
Have you been happy with what you've seen?
Cautiously optimistic, Ryan. How's that?
That's a very PC answer. Well, again, you don't look at it in terms of wins and losses. You know, you look at it from a different standpoint in the fall as opposed to what you would look at in the spring. But, I'm sure you always get a vibe for what this team may be putting together for the spring.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean, we're returning a lot of guys off of last year's group that went far in the districts, obviously, and, they're eager to get the spring going. We're getting the freshmen on board with everything that's happened in the past, obviously, and getting them prepared for this spring. And, our senior leadership is going to be very good this year. Not saying it wasn't last year, but this year's group is very strong. And, when you got that, then you got a chance.
Let's start off talking about the freshmen.
Okay.
Maybe start off with the position guys. Who's impressed you the most? Who have, just kind of going down the list a little bit. What guys have really shown up and have been ready to play and or perhaps ahead of the game?
The three freshmen that stand out are Kyle Morris at second. He's really done well, swung the bat, which we anticipated he would, but he's played very well defensively, which we knew he was a good defensive player, but we recruited him more for his bat, let's put it that way. But he's really shown that he can play second very well. Jeremy Patton out of South Pemiscot, who a lot of people know. I mean, obviously people in Imperial know because of the home runs he hit this summer against Rock Legion. He has really had a great fall. And then, of course, Windsor's Luke Schletke. I mean, Luke's been kind of the talk at these showcase tournaments. A lot of people like how he's played, and he's really showcased well, and he's done a good job.
Has he been playing mostly center field, or have you moved him all over out there?
Nah, he's been at center. I mean, he's going to be all right. If he gets it going consistently with the bat, he's got a shot to have a special spring.
Now, you mentioned when we talked the other day about the young man from South Pemiscot, Patton, that he's very versatile to where he can play. You're not opposed to putting him maybe at third, maybe come the springtime.
Yeah, if we have to. And, and a good point, bringing back to your original point of the fall, trying out different guys. We've tried him at third. We've tried Morris. We've tried Lyons. I mean, those are the three guys that are going to play up the middle a lot this year. And Patton's the one guy that could play third for us if we need him to, especially when Fick pitches. That's the wild card coming out of the fall is Cody Fick. We don't know how much we're going to have to use him in the spring. Ideally, we'd like to use him like we did last year where we didn't pitch him much early on and we kept his bat in the lineup. And then as the season progressed and we got on towards the end of the year, then we really rode him on the mound and we all saw what he did in the postseason on the bump for us. If we can do that again, all right, I think things will fall into place. If we can't, then we're going to have to, be a little bit more creative in the spring. But I think if there's a question mark coming out of the fall, it would be that. How much do we have to use Fick? If we have to use him a lot, then is Jeremy Patton going to be a third, or is it Zach Blanchard or someone else that we haven't really talked about yet?
And the one thing I think that really stands out about all three of those guys, as well as a number of the other freshmen, they're very coachable kids.
Yeah.
They've had good instruction in their in their high school playing and summer playing days.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, that's a good point. I mean, we're bringing in guys who have come from quality coaches, quality coaching staffs, quality programs that have won. I had this conversation with a recruit last night on the road. We recruit personalities as well, Ryan. It's not just the ability to go catch it and throw it. Don't get me wrong, that's nice, but there's a certain personality we're trying to recruit as well. And all the guys are really kind of meshing right now. It's neat to see.
Now, looking at some of the other guys that you have that are coming in that are, I guess you'd say, that are freshmen, tell us about how Seth Swafford's coming along.
Very well. He's out there on the bump right now. He was out there throwing when I came in, and he was topping out at 88, 89, throwing well. He's working on a different arm angle, trying to drop down a little bit, using his legs more. He's going to get some outs for us this spring.
That's good. And of course, he comes in out of Hillsboro, just down the street for the most part.
Yeah, you're right. Just a stone's throw away.
A baseball throw away. How about Sean Wilkie?
Sean is going to have surgery. We just learned today he's going to have surgery next week on both his knees. I don't know if they're going to do both at the same time or one and then wait for a little while and do the other. So we'll know more about that later on. I know his knees have really been bothering him, and we knew that coming into the fall. It looks like he's gonna go under the knife and possibly redshirt then.
Oh goodness, he may end up missing the spring season.
He may. We don't know yet, but I think it's a likely scenario.
How about Ed Winchester?
He's having a good fall. He's swinging the bat well. I think him being behind Zach Shy and seeing how Zach Shy plays the game and seeing the approach that Zach Shy takes at the plate, Ed's gonna kind of learn a little bit under that, and hopefully we can get some of Zach Shy to rub off on Ed Winchester.
Now here's a kid that I watched play a little bit during your first practice of the fall. Got to see him go in the cage, and he stroked the ball pretty good. Matt Stuckmeyer. Tell us about how this kid came in.
That's a great question. That's a great point. Matt Stuckmeyer is from Valmeyer, right across the river. He had been taking lessons with Shane Eames over at Big Hitter Baseball, I guess, up in Arnold. Him and actually Coach Oster were giving him lessons. And Coach O called one day and said, hey, we got a guy down here. And I called Shane, and Shane said, yeah, this guy's interesting. And we went over to watch him, and he's got some bat speed, and he really swings it well. And he's a little raw, very intelligent kid, comes from a great family, and he's willing to work. And I mean, he needs some work, but there's some juice in that bat.
Where does he primarily play? Is he a utility type guy, outfielder?
Yeah, I mean, his money's going to be with his bat. If he drives in runs and swings it well, he'll get some time in the DH slot.
Interesting, okay. Just kind of going down a little bit. Tell us about Aaron Blunt. He's been throwing pretty good this fall, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. He's probably been our best freshman arm, most consistent arm. He's starting to get his velocity back, getting it up there 88, 89. He's working on a palm ball that actually Coach Skiles worked with him on, and he's starting to get the hang of it. He's got a good breaking ball. Aaron Blunt's going to be really good for us. We're hoping that maybe he can really log some major innings for us in the spring.
A palm ball.
Palm ball,
When was the last time you've had a kid or coached a kid that threw a palm ball?
Well, I've only been coaching 10 years, so I never knew a kid to throw a palm ball. The last kid to know that I knew threw a palm ball was my 4-year-old son, Max, because he can't get 2 fingers on it, so he puts all fingers around the ball and it's stuck in his palm. But other than that, that's the last time I saw one.
So you've never had one?
No, that would be correct. Thank you. Thank you, Ryan.
Travis Henke. Obviously, he's kind of an interesting story with his uncle being Tom Henke, the former closer with, I know he had the year with the Cardinals, but he spent Blue Jays. Yeah, that's where he spent most of his career.
Travis, he's had a good fall. We kind of shut him down about 2 weeks ago. He was used a lot in the spring and summer and just needed some time off. We did the same thing with Patterson last year, and Patterson came out, had a phenomenal spring for us as well. So Henke's got a shot. I mean, the gene pool is there. He needs to shore up some things from a mechanical standpoint. The most attractive thing about Travis is that he's got 4 state titles, 2 with baseball and 1 with football, 1 with basketball. So I mean, he knows how to win championships. And again, we talked about it before. We recruit personalities, and that's one of the things that we look at is winners. And he's a winner, and we're excited to have him.
How about Aaron Claycamp out of Borgia?
Great. He's throwing real well. If he gets a third pitch over something that's soft, he's got a shot to be a guy in the front of our rotation. If not, you'll see him in the pen. I mean, he's been 88, 89, topping out at 91. Throws a slider at 81. I mean, it's a hard slider, big-time slider. If he can get a changeup over, then you'll see him at the top of the rotation. If not, you'll see him coming out of the pen.
Another good guy that you had come in with a good arm as a freshman is Robbie Ward.
Yeah, I mean, his stuff's electric. We knew that coming into it. He's topped out at 93 this fall. He's got a quick arm. This guy's legit, and we'll probably have him and Kyle Smith will split the time in the closer's role this year.
How about John Mannion, the big kid that comes to you out of Rolla?
Out of Rolla. He's a two-way guy. He may have to have surgery next week. He went to see Dr. Paletta. We knew that him coming in, he was having some problems with his elbow. It may end up having Tommy John, and then he'll be ready next fall. But we knew there was a chance that we may have to redshirt him coming in.
How about Sean Schaefer?
Pretty good. I mean, he's got a lot of late run on his ball, throws a heavy ball. He's a mid to upper 80s guy as well, needs to get a secondary pitch over. He's a guy that's going to come out of the pen. He'll get a lot of double play ground balls.
You have something positive to say about everybody.
Well, it's the fall. We're not in April right now, right?
True. Am I leaving anybody out as far as the freshmen? I guess Todd Hewson.
Oh, yeah, out of Lawson, Missouri.
Okay.
He's probably been, outside of Aaron Blunt, our most consistent guy. His stuff isn't as good as the other guys that we mentioned, He's mid-80s guy, left-handed pitcher. If he gets his breaking ball over consistently, he'll be good. He just gets outs, and he's gotten outs all fall for us, and he's actually kind of shown that he can get it done. He's been a nice surprise.
And another guy that I know you've been happy with as far as the bat goes is Brian Probst.
Yeah, 4 home runs this fall off a JUCO pitching, not just high school pitching. He's going to be a special guy.
And of course, that brings us to our sophomores, which a lot of these guys have been, you know what to expect from a lot of these guys. You got a lot of outfielders, Becker, Finley, you got Robinson coming back at catcher.
Yep.
You still got Ramon and Wings.
Yeah.
These guys are all stepping up to the plate with leadership and that kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, this class knew how close we came last year. I think it kind of eats at them like it does their head coach, and I think they're ready to play, and they've kind of, I mean, from the outset, they have practiced hard, played hard, trained hard, and they're getting ready for the spring.
John Lyons is obviously healthy and playing well.
Yeah, he's been at shortstop all fall. He's done very well, very consistent. Everyone here in the area knows that John Lyons is a consistent, hard-nosed player. He's going to hit for us. He's going to play for us. He's going to do very good. Fantastic leader of men.
Zach Shy, obviously, you got to feel good about having him back.
He's come back. You know, he's picked himself off the mat. I mean, this is a guy who has kind of realized, hey, I better get after it, and he has. He's getting it done in the classroom, in the weight room, even at the dinner table. You know, he's watching what he eats, and it shows. I mean, he has really cleaned up his game, and he could have a good year for us, Ryan, definitely. I'm eager to see him play.
Still has that sweet swing.
Oh, man, it's so fluid and easy. Different. The ball comes off his bat different than anybody else on the team.
And, of course, you mentioned Cody Fick and what he brings to the mix. You know, that kid, you know, just talking with him and watching him, he is a leader on and off the field.
Yeah, he is.
And he's probably one of those guys that's going to be putting his name into the hat for being a captain.
Yeah, I would agree with that. You know, you're talking about our returning team MVP, voted on by the players. They just respect him. No matter what he does, he's not the best-looking guy out there, but whether it's with his legs, with his arm, with his glove, on the bump, at the plate, he's going to find a way to beat the opponent every single game. And that's all you can ask for.
You haven't thrown him very much this fall, and that's obviously for precautionary reasons, right?
Yeah, exactly. He came up with some elbow injuries this summer. We shut him down, and in fact, today we extended him out to 3 innings. And he was topping out at 92. So I mean, he's with a slider, so he's all the way back. We're not worried about him anymore.
Right where he left off.
You're right. You're right.
How about the other pitchers that are coming back from injury? Let's talk about Cody Stites.
Good. He threw 2 innings today. We extended him out. You know, he had elbow surgery this summer. It was just to move the ulnar nerve into a quote-unquote different groove, and so there was no structural damage, and he's just battling through scar tissue, and he's going to be pretty good. If he throws strikes, he's going to be pretty good.
Heath Story.
You know what? Outside of Blunt, he's probably been the most pleasant surprise. He came off of surgery. He said, man, this is the best my arm has felt in 2 or 3 years, and it shows. He's been getting a lot of interest. I tell you what, if he carries us over, he could either be at the front of the rotation, or I like him as possibly a 5th and 6th inning guy, a guy who can get a ground ball double play. He throws a good split. And
also another guy coming back from injury too is Kyle Smith.
Yeah, Kyle's going to be the last one coming back off of injury. He just now started his throwing program. You know, he should be ready by January, February. We may not see a lot of him until March when the weather starts warming up. So, but we're hoping that he can get back to where he was before he had his injury last year, and he can be our closer along with Robbie Wirt.
Now, as far as right now goes, this is not only you finishing up the fall, but you're also kind of working a lot on recruiting, things like that. Now, I know that you can't mention any names until the letters come in January. But obviously, you got your name in the hat for a lot of kids around the region, around the state, for that matter.
Yeah, we do. I mean, there are a lot more kids we've recruited early on from the western half of the state. We've got 5 or 6 offers out right now, and we're hoping to get commitments. And if we do, I mean, this is what we do every year, Ryan. We do it on the same level as Division I and Division II programs do, where we try to get commitments by November. The signing period for Division I, Division II is in November. We try to get commitments by then, verbals, and then that allows us to honestly take the holidays off, Thanksgiving and Christmas, then get letters of intent in January, and have a handful of guys sign on the dotted line.
Well, real quickly before we let you go, what's the timeline as far as wrapping up the fall? When's the last day you're going to be outside? Or do you even know yet?
Well, technically organized stuff, it'll be on Sunday. Don't get me wrong, if we get 80-degree weather next week, we'll probably do some individual work out there, but it's, from an organizational standpoint, team standpoint, it's going to be over on Sunday.
All right. Coach, thanks a lot for the time, as always.
Thank you, Ryan. It was good to see you again.
You too. Sam Carel, head coach of the Jefferson College baseball team, joining us as we wrap it up. This has been the Jefferson College Sports Report from the Field House at Jeffco on 1400 KJFF.